I'm faithful to one Mbabas who sponsors my life. I'm faithful to one Mamas who sponsors my life. But you're dead spiritually. Why do you think young ladies, young men are being picked up dead every single day in every corner of the country and also world over? In Airbnbs, in clubs, in flats, all these places. Why do you think it is happening? And some of you are fast to answer and say they are careless, they are immoral, they are greedy, this generation is rotten. You're fast to answer. But why really are we seeing all these things happen? And I have an answer for you. And of course, the answer comes from the book of Genesis chapter 25, verse 29. And this is a story that you have heard, it's a very popular one. But this is actually the answer to what is happening. And the Bible says, once when Jacob was cooking some stew, Esau came in from the open country famished. He said to Jacob, "Quick, let me have some of that red stew. I'm famished." That is why he was also called Edom. Jacob replied, "First sell me your birthright." "Look, I'm about to die," Esau said. "What good is the birthright to me?" But Jacob said, "Swear to me first." So he swore an oath to him, selling his birthright to Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau some bread and some lentil stew. He ate and drank and then got up and left. The Bible says, so Esau despised his birthright. What is happening is that our generation has despised its birthright. And by saying our generation, if you're watching this, it is for you. It is not to say that young people, it's happening even with older people, men and women. We have seen that happen. Despising our birthright means we have no value of our existence. It means we have no value of who we are. And when I say birthright, I don't mean birthright from the family you come from, whether you're firstborn, second, last, or I mean the spiritual birthright. When we are born, we have a spiritual birthright. And that's why we even see in the Bible being told, you have authority, you have power. We have exchanged our authority for money. We have exchanged our power for a plate of lentils, for chicken in KFC, for pizza. Yes, it's not even funny. But when you're doing it, you don't realize it, that you're despising your birthright. And why we see so many deaths now, it is because we have despised our birthright and we have told the devil, come, I don't need my birthright. You see, Esau here said that I'm about to die. What good is the birthright to me? Today, our young people are saying, I'm about to die. What good is this spiritual birthright to me? Give me the money. I'm giving you my destiny. I'm giving you my birthright. I mean, of what use? Because you cannot see spiritually. And that's why our prayer must be, God, help us to see spiritually. Help us to see the spiritual eyes. Because whatever is happening right now, the rituals we are seeing in Roysambu, in Kericho, in Nakuru, all over, are very spiritual. Life is spiritual. And things first happen in the spirit and then they happen physically. Now, let me come for the people who think that this is too far from them. It is not too far from you. Why am I saying this? Because it is just by the grace of God that you're not in such traps. But again, I want to remind you, you might not be dead physically, but you're dead spiritually. Dead spiritually. You are a shell. You might say that, I'm faithful to one Mbabas who sponsors my life. I'm faithful to one Mamas who sponsors my life. But you're dead spiritually. Why? Because these rituals might not end up in a dismembered body like we saw in Resambo, but they end up in your death. You become dead. Someone who was very productive, someone who was very good at what they do, talented, skilled. You meet one person like this, and because they are into demonic rituals, you sleep with them or you just start associating with them and they ritualize you, manze. You become a sacrifice. Yes, you're walking, but you're dead. I once lived such a life, and one day I'll give this story, but let me just touch a bit. Met a young man, very handsome man, and got into a relationship. I was not born again at that time. So you know what happens in a secular relationship and all those things that go on. Before I knew it, I was under his domination. I was under him for about 3+ years. I was just a shell. I was just dead. Why? Because this particular man was worshiping gods. I don't know whether he's still in it, but yeah, in one of these, I can't mention because of course this video will be flagged down, but he was, or he is, I do not know, but in one of these, big cults or major cults in this world. And I didn't know. So this guy was just siphoning from me. These stories you hear at Tizanyota, they're real. It's just that they have been made to look like comedy for you to think there is no seriousness in it. I'm telling you. I had none. Nyota. Sikuwa na nyota. Yoyote. He took everything. And there's nothing I could work for. There's nothing I could do. My talents were not working. My giftings, my abilities, my education was nonsense. And I thank the Lord because after that, he called me revived. And that's why I'm revived. And also just to add on, James chapter 1, it is even written in the book of James chapter 1 verse 14. And the Bible says, but each person is tempted when they are dragged away by their own evil desire and enticed. Praise be to God. So the things that you fall into, the temptations and all these things, our own evil desires are what will get us dragged away. Praise be to God. And so the fact that as a generation we are despising a valuable thing, birthright, given to us by God to exist under the sun, it's so unfortunate. You can imagine you're selling your birthright for what? A wig? You're selling your birthright for a Prado, BMW, for an apartment, for a good life, for holidays. For what? At the end of it all, it leads to death. At the end of it all, it leads to sorrow. The blessings of God are permanent and without sorrow. And so what does that mean? That the blessings or the things that the devil will give you are full of sorrow and sadness. You meet a man or a woman who is willing to buy you any car you want, who's willing to buy you an apartment in any part of this world or country. And you think they didn't work for that car. You think they didn't work for that apartment. You think they are giving it to you for free. Hey, nothing is for free. They are not giving it to you for free. There is something they are getting in return. That's why you can get into a relationship and it is your death. But why? Because we have despised our birthright. May the Lord help us. May we be under the wing of the Lord. May we be under the understanding of the Lord. May we be under the wisdom. May we be influenced by the wisdom of God. May we be influenced by the knowledge of God. To just look at situations and know, right here, right now, I'm just about to sell my birthright. I'm just about to despise my birthright. I'm just about to give away my authority and my power. And that's the only way we will be saved from some things. May we just be under the cover of Christ. Just come to Christ. Just come under the cover of Christ. The world out there is not for you. The devil is not looking at you and thinking the way he wants to prosper you. He wants to kill, steal, and destroy you. That is his work. So this greed, young people, this greed you're having of having a good life, of staying in a certain way, this life comes through a process. This life comes through toil and hard work. This life comes through toil and faithfulness. And so that the Lord can bless the work of your hands. But without that knowledge, then we will keep giving ourselves to Nigerian men. We are no longer selling our souls now. We are selling our bodies and being like, the devil, I'm here. Here's my soul. Here's my body. Here's everything I have. Here's my generation. Take it all. Give me a car. Really? No, we cannot continue like that. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and to lose his soul? God bless you so much. But may the Lord open our eyes. Young and old, let the Lord open our eyes. God bless you.